Hey friends, and welcome back and Happy New Year. I hope you had a great holiday season. I know Sam and I did. We definitely took some time off, took some time for ourselves, and we are getting back into the swing of things. It is currently January 2nd, and with that, we are out in the garage because we are starting a very exciting challenge, which is the Pantry Challenge, meaning we are not going to be going to the store for all of January and I think half of February. This is going to be super fun because we work really hard to stock up as much food as we possibly can. So as a lot of you know, we have Bullet. As a lot of you know, we do a lot of hunting, fishing, gardening, and so we work really hard and pride ourselves on catching and storing as much of our own food as we possibly can. That being said, we're definitely not perfect. We go to the grocery store. So I want to challenge ourselves and see if we can go an entire month and a half without walking into a grocery store. I will make a couple of exceptions, being if we need household items or medicines for animals, medicines for ourselves. That's not going to count. This is really purely groceries and things that we put into our bodies. So we have enough animal food for all of our animals, chickens, dogs, cats, goats. Everyone has enough for an entire month and a half. We have enough food for ourselves, being between the stuff that we have hunted, gardened, and picked up from the grocery store. And I think we're pretty well set. So I'm super excited. I want to take this time, I want to take this time to walk you through the freezer so you can kind of see how we organize it. This year we brought in four big game animals, and then we do a lot of fishing for various kinds of fish in the summers. And so we really pride ourselves on not having to buy meat from the grocery store. So I kind of want to show you what we're working with. That way we can see at the beginning of January and then at the end of February where everything stands, how much we've gone through, and we can kind of see what kind of dent we put into it. So let's jump over to the freezer and I will show you where we're starting. Okay, so this is freezer number 1, and this is, we really work hard on the first in, first out method when it comes to our meat. It's like 0 degrees outside, so our freezers aren't even hardly running, so I feel fine leaving the door open. So we work really hard on doing first in, first out, meaning this is all 2021 meat and 2022 fish. So we make sure to work really hard to kind of group all of our meat together, so we keep the years together, meaning 2021 meat will all be in the same freezer together. That way we know that we're using the oldest meat first and we're able to kind of keep a really good rotation moving versus eating new meat when we have old meat to get through still. So this is all still perfectly fine. This meat lasts for a really long time because we do work really hard when we come to sealing it. So anything in the paper is what we've paid for to get processed. So we take this to processors. We did this a lot before we lived out here because we didn't really have the room or the bandwidth to be able to process our own meat. So anything in the papers has been processed at a processor, whereas anything in these bags have not been processed by a processor. These are just things that we process ourselves. So you can see here, this was antelope from August 2021. This is burger. So we do work hard on keeping the meat all grouped together as well. So this shelf is all burger, this shelf is all steaks. That way we know when it's cold outside, I can really quickly just run out, grab a couple steaks, grab a couple burgers, put them in the fridge to defrost for the week, and it's really super easy. Then I have some of our freezer meals up on the top shelf. I like to keep those all together just again, so it's really quickly. I can just grab it and go. Then over here we have all of our onions. So these are the onions that we preserve together. Here's what they look like once I put them in the freezer bags. They're like super rock hard and they will last fresh in these bags for years. They are incredible, so we love that. And then beyond that, we just have some peaches down here that I want to get through. That was from our peach processing day that we did together. We have a little bit of bear from 2020, I think this was 2020. Again, it was processed at the processor. You can tell by the white bags. Then we just have a couple of veggies down in the door. So I just have some Kirkland stir fry. My parents brought this up for Christmas and we ended up not using it. So we're gonna get through this. And then we have a bunch of walleye. So we do walleye fishing in the summer as well. And so we just, again, vacuum seal our walleye. This was from 2022, so this is this year, but we do try to eat our fish a little bit quicker than the red meat, just because it's a little bit more delicate. And then up here, we just have some bacon, 1 pack of bacon, 1 block of cheese, and then the rest of the rolls that we made together for our Sloppy Joe freezer meals. So that's everything that we have in here. Again, we really just work hard on keeping all of 2021's meat in one freezer. So that's what we have in here. This is all the meat I want to try to get through before the summer. So I know it seems like a lot, but this is all we eat. We eat like sides and stuff, but this meat is in every single meal that we eat. So I feel pretty confident about getting through majority of it. Now let's jump over and I will show you the other freezer so you can kind of see what a full year of freezers looks like. All right, here is our 2022 freezer. So if you're getting the gist of it, we'll eat all of the 2021 freezer this year. 2022 freezer will pull if we run out of like burger or anything like that from the 2021 freezer. We'll pull it from the 2022 freezer. So we continue to eat on this freezer. Like for example, we're out of roasts in 2021, but this entire shelf here is roast. So if we want to roast, we'll definitely just pull from 2022. But the cat in the freezer. But this allows us to just make sure that we're rotating through everything and getting everything used up in a timely manner. I think it's really important that we are responsible for everything that we're eating, everything that we are hunting, and making the best of it and making sure we're using it in its most pristine condition. So we work really hard at that. So this is our 2022 freezer. Up here, this is all steak, so you can see by the bags. This is what we processed. So this is deer, elk, and antelope up here. Here is all burger, 2 roasts. Looks like they are elk roasts, so 2 roasts there. And then down here is more steaks. We did take 1 elk to get processed this year because we just simply didn't have the bandwidth at the time. So that's this down here. We ate a ton of the roasts over Christmas and they were absolutely phenomenal. So we did a number on this elk over the holidays and it was such a treat and it was so delicious. So there's our elk. We do have 1 frozen pizza because in case of emergency, you never know. We are human. We have some summer sausage still. And then down on this bottom shelf is all burger as well. Then over here we have more roasts. These are elk roasts, antelope roasts, and deer roasts. And then because we did take this meat in to get processed, we got a little bit of specialty, just things that we can't necessarily easily make on our own. So we got jalapeno cheddar brats in these bags. And then a new one for us this year, we are trying maple breakfast sausage with an elk. I'm super excited to try this. I've never had it. I know that I love maple breakfast sausage when it comes from like pork, so I'm super excited about that and we're gonna give it a try. And then we do have a little bit of bear in this freezer as well. Just a little bit of overflow from the bear, so that's really good with like breakfast foods. It's pretty greasy, so we like to just kind of put it in place of sausage. So that is everything in this freezer. So again, this is only going to be backups if we run out of something in the 2021 freezer, but this is all 2022, so we're gonna do our best to eat over the other freezer, but I just kind of wanted to show you the status of this freezer as well. So that is everything in the 2 big freezers that we have for ourselves. We also have 1 smaller freezer here in the garage, and that is full of meat that we've gotten from friends or fellow ranchers that maybe didn't turn out very well, or they didn't enjoy, or they had too much of. So whenever that happens, we take the meat off of people's hands and we give it to Arrow, our dog. He really enjoys it. He's a 90-pound lab, so he eats a ton of food. So we find that is a really affordable way to keep him fed. Beyond that, a few other ways that we are able to keep the feed coming in throughout this challenge without having to go to the store is Sam has close connections with the brewery in town and we get all of their spent grain. So they literally just send us home with buckets of spent grain, and then we are able to take that and feed it to the goats, the chickens. Sometimes the cats will go into the chicken run and eat it. Sometimes Arrow will get a hold of it. So they really, really enjoy that. So that's another way that we're able to bring in food and keep the expense down and not have to store enough to feed everyone for a month and a half. So we'll continue to bring that in. I don't consider that going to the store just because it's free and it's a resource that we're able to get. So don't want to be wasting that. And then beyond that, we do have quite a few foods preserved. We have a lot of pickled vegetables, pickled carrots, jalapenos, pepperoncinis. We have tomato sauces, onion jam, strawberry rhubarb jam, blackberry jam. We have salsa, we have chips. We have a lot of other things down in our storage room that I showed you in a few videos ago, so we're able to kind of keep that moving. And then in our house, we do have some store items. So we have some crackers, we have milk, we have coffee creamer, coffee, all of those things. So I'm excited to kind of get to deplete a lot of these items and keep rotating and working through everything and to see kind of what we use up this year or in this next month and a half and what we're not using, because I think that will definitely help me decide what we need to buy more of in the future to keep on hand for us, kind of more of a stock pantry, and what we don't necessarily tend to lean towards, so we know what's not so important for us. So I'm really looking forward to bringing you along with us. Again, today is January 2nd. We are starting tomorrow, January 3rd. That's just how it all came together with the holidays and days off of work and enjoying our holiday season. So I'm super excited to get started tomorrow, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining. Can't wait for you to tag along on this little challenge and adventure. And if you're doing the same thing, comment down below so we can know that we're in this together. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye, friend.